I feel like we always box like black women into one box, and there's so many different types of black women. There are successful black women. There are women that, do it just because they're independent or just because they, put themselves to a higher standard doesn't necessarily mean that all women are.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Independent of whom?
Stop. Right here. The uninitiated see a debate, a man asking a simple question. But for those of us with the eyes to see, this is not a question. It is the unsheathing of a weapon. You are about to witness a masterclass in logical domination, a brutal, effective, and ultimately flawed display of masculine frame. The men you are about to see are powerful. They are a necessary and potent antidote to the weak, supplicating, nice guy plague. But their gnosis is incomplete. It is a powerful but clumsy first step on a much longer, more elegant path. Today we do not come to praise them or to bury them. We come to transcend them. We will use their powerful but blunt instruments to reveal the far more precise, more lethal, and more effective surgical tools of the Seduction Noire cathedral. Pay attention. This is not a reaction video. This is a Gnostic correction, and it will change the way you see the game forever.
Independent of whom?
What do you mean?
Oh, shit.
When women say independent, independent of whom?
They don't have to be independent of something.
No.
Just...
This is important.
Okay.
Independent of whom?
You tell me.
You're the one that
You're the one that said it.
Yeah, but I'm just referring to independent women.
Yes, she does.
Because do I walk around and call myself an independent man? That would sound asinine, wouldn't it?
Yeah, king.
Ridiculous. Stupid, some would say. We don't walk around and say we're independent men, because that's absolutely. But for some odd reason, we applaud everything that women do. You're an independent woman, woo! But when I ask independent of whom, it's independent of men. Let's go through a scenario real fast, right? Here we go. Walking down the street. Two scenarios. First scenario, you see an old lady struggling with fucking groceries.
Man.
She could barely cross the street. Are you going to stop and help her?
Mm-hmm.
You will, right?
Yeah.
Good Samaritan. Second scenario, big able-bodied fucking guy, former military, carrying all those bags, one trip, doing well. Are you going to stop him and ask him if he needs help?
If he's doing well, no.
No, right? So when someone's independent, there's no need to assist them, right?
But if he was struggling, I would help him.
Yeah, but the point is that he's not, right? Okay. So, but in the old lady scenario, you would gladly help her, right?
Yeah, I would help anybody struggling.
Okay, that's exactly how men look at women. When you guys run around and say, I'm independent, I pay my own bills and shit, you know what we think? Drinks. It's annoying. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to go get with a girl that actually needs me, because men and women are supposed to work together. And this is the issue with community, with women especially. You guys shoot yourselves in the foot, listen to too much fucking Beyonce, and say, I'm strong and independent, and I'm not going to do this, XYZ.
Cardi B.
Matter of fact, if you look at a lot of the music that's pushed,
it endorses that.
It enforces females being independent, not needing a man, etc. So it's this constant pernicious cycle of thinking that you're independent, you don't need a man, etc. So why are we going to help? You don't need us. You're independent.
No,
I'm saying it for the better.
And there it is, the Socratic Kill Shot, independent of whom? It is a brilliant and brutal act of frame constriction. He has taken her broad, nuanced point about the diversity of black women and collapsed it into a single, indefensible word. He has forced her onto his battlefield, and he has already won the war for the definition of terms. This is the power of the red pill. It gives men the courage to see the world through a lens of raw, unapologetic logic. But here lies the fatal flaw. He has won the argument, but he has lost the woman. Let me give you the gnosis that elevates the sovereign beyond the mere soldier. The truly powerful man does not want a weak, helpless, dependent woman. That is the pathetic fantasy of a man who is terrified of being challenged. That is the man who wants a dog, not a queen. A king does not want a kingdom of mindless peasants. He wants a kingdom of powerful, capable nobles who can help him run the fucking empire. Think of it like this. You're trying to conquer a new continent. Do you want to go to war with an army of one? Or do you want a queen by your side who is a master strategist in her own right? A woman who is independent enough to hold down the entire western flank of your empire while you are busy conquering the east? The red pill, in its clumsy infancy, hears the word independent and it panics. It hears a rebellion. It hears a threat to male authority. The sovereign, the man of the cathedral, hears the word independent, and he hears an asset, a weapon, a force multiplier. His frame is so absolute, his mission so vast, that her independence is not a threat to his power, it is fuel for his fire. He is not afraid of her strength. He is hungry for it.
No,
I'm saying it for the better part of almost 30 years.
Context of what I was saying, because you were referring to alpha male. No, hold on. You were referring to an alpha woman. You know, you were talking to her and telling her that you don't really agree with us saying alpha woman or whatever the case may be, which I understand that. I agree with that as well.
Sure.
Because I can be a woman that is very subtle, and that's how I am. So that's why I was saying that there's different types of women. You can't put them all in a box and say, oh, everybody's running around here saying that they're alpha woman.
Whether I have someone that's ostentatious like her and saying I'm an alpha woman, or I have someone like you that's more covert about it, it doesn't matter. The end product is the same. You're still a masculinized woman that doesn't feel that she needs a man. And here's the problem.
I don't agree with that.
Well, you said independent.
No,
right?
you didn't hear what I was saying.
No, but
I was saying in the sense of an alpha woman. Like you were saying that what she was saying was an alpha woman. I'm like, okay, independent woman. You're saying that we're all these things.
Thing. This is womanese word
That's
language.
what I'm saying.
Womanese. He says the word with contempt, as if he has discovered a rare and irritating species of insect, a man staring at a complex schematic for a fusion reactor and complaining that it's not written in the simple language of a children's book. Let me give you the decoder ring that Myron is missing. She is not speaking nonsense. She is speaking the ancient, powerful, and deeply coded language of rapport talk. It is the language of the oracle, not the language of the accountant. Imagine you're trying to buy a fucking supercar. The accountant, the man who speaks rapport talk, will give you a spec sheet. It has 800 horsepower. It does 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds. This is data. It is useful, but it is dead. The oracle, the woman who speaks rapport talk, will not give you a spec sheet. She will lean in, her voice will drop, and she will whisper. When you hit the gas in second gear, for a single terrifying moment, it feels like you are challenging God and you are winning. Which one makes you want to buy the fucking car? Myron is demanding a spec sheet from a woman whose entire soul is designed to sell the feeling of challenging God. He is deaf to her music. And the comments you see on these videos, the combined IQ won't boil water. This is the tragic, deafening chorus of an army of tone-deaf accountants who are wondering why the oracles will not sleep with them.
That's what I'm saying.
Whether she outwardly says I'm an alpha woman or someone like you that's more covert about it and says I'm an independent woman.
I didn't say I was an independent woman. I was
you
saying...
You were using the independence, the term independence.
Right, in the same category.
Yes, but what I'm saying is that regardless of whether you want to run around and say I'm an alpha female or you want to just say simply I'm just independent, I have my own job. What I'm trying to explain here is men don't feel the need to come in and help you when you feel like you're independent.
But that's what I'm saying. I was trying to have you understand that you were putting us all in one box, saying that we're all independent, we're all alpha women as a black woman. And that's what I'm trying to let you know, that there's a difference.
Stereotype. Stereotype doesn't mean all.
Stereotype.
Yeah, but there's a difference. Right, okay. But there's a difference. I feel like that was the issue, is that we're always putting black women in this box and we have this image in our head.
I think a lot of black women put themselves in that box.
No.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're doing it, as a matter of fact, you're doing it now. That's why he says you're more covert about it. That little interaction you had with Myron, even though you're very soft-spoken, that was a very combative exchange. And the further the exchange went, the more aggressive you got.
Combative. The enforcer has rendered his verdict, and in doing so, he reveals the central terror of the insecure masculine frame, the fear of the feminine no. Let me give you a piece of gnosis that will change the way you see every interaction for the rest of your life. A woman's resistance is almost never about the topic at hand. It is a fitness test. It is her ancient biological programming running a single brutal diagnostic. Are you real? When I push against your reality, does it shatter like glass, or is it a mountain of unshakable granite? It is like a sparring partner in a dojo. She is not there to break you. She is there to sharpen you. She is testing your blade. And Myron and Donovan are reacting like frightened children, screaming that the sparring partner is trying to kill them. They are meeting her push with another push. It is clumsy. It is ugly. A sovereign, a master of cognitive seduction, would have laughed. He would have seen her combative energy not as a threat, but as a gift. It is a sign that she is engaged, that she sees him as worthy of the test. He would have taken her energy and, like a master of Aikido, used it to pull her closer. He would have said, of course it's combative. Anything less would be boring, don't you think? He would have reframed the fight as the most exciting, most seductive form of foreplay imaginable.
The more aggressive you got with it. So
No,
whether
I just
you're
wanted him to
overt or
understand.
covert.
Yeah, I just wanted, if we weren't arguing, I just wanted him to understand that I wasn't using
We're having a
saying I'm
discussion.
independent.
The point I'm trying to make is that you were talking about, you're trying to put like a difference between being independent versus being an alpha female.
No, I was saying
That's
that's
literally
all in
what she said.
No, that's what you thought I was saying, and that's why I'm
You
trying
used
to
the
let
word
you know.
independent.
Yes, and I said that it goes in hand with alpha. That's not what I was trying to tell you.
Okay.
That's what you assumed I was saying.
That's because that's what literally. That's because that's what you said. You said independent.
Can I ask you a question?
Is that saying or is not that saying?
Can I ask you a question?
It's the same as what I'm trying to say.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
So if you have a daughter, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she has a man over here,
Mm-hmm.
right? Would you encourage her to depend on this man?
Yes.
Why?
Why wouldn't I?
Shouldn't she depend on you?
She depends on me until I walk her down the aisle.
Right, but she has to choose the right person to depend on. So
And
that
I have
man
to help
has to
that.
show
There you go.
that.
Yes, that's
So
exactly
that's
right.
why she came in to say independent, not as like
Independent of a man?
I am not
No.
independent of a man. Independent in a sense of let me take care of myself
This is insane.
until I find the
See,
right.
you
person.
guys are so
Absolutely
fucking brainwashed.
insane.
That
And here we see the final, pathetic outcome of a frame built on domination instead of dominion. Chaos, frustration, a room full of people shouting past each other, a beautiful, self-inflicted tragedy. They shout, "That's literally what you said." They are trying to win the argument using the instant replay. This is the strategy of a man who is trying to win a court case. But seduction is not a court case. It is a hostile takeover of a competing reality. You do not win with evidence, you win with a superior vision. Imagine this. You're Steve Jobs in 1997. Apple is dying. The board is full of accountants who are screaming, "The numbers don't add up. We need to cut costs. We need to be more like Dell." That is the instant replay. It is the logic of the dying world. What did Jobs do? He didn't argue with their numbers. He stood up and he painted a picture. Think different. He sold them not a product, but a religion. He performed a hostile takeover of their imagination. That is leadership. That is dominion. It is the ability to create a frame so compelling that she joyfully, willingly, and with great desire chooses to abandon her own chaotic, contradictory reality and come live inside of yours.
so
Absolutely
fucking brainwashed
insane.
that
This
you
is
guys don't even
incredible.
know. Hold on.
You have to take care of yourself before you find a man.
Ladies.
So
Hold on. You want to
you're
know why I'm
gonna
not
wait until a
buying it?
man
You know
to
why
take
I'm
care of
not buying
yourself?
it?
That doesn't make sense.
Okay,
here we go.
This is why I'm not buying it. Because you guys
wait.
all agreed that you would be more attractive in your 30s than in your 20s. So that already tells me where your mind is at. You guys prioritize career, your own
No.
self-achievement over family.
No.
Okay? Yes, because you actually think you're going to be more attractive in your 30s and you're established. You literally gave the example grounded.
Established, not
Yes, you're
attracted.
grounded
That
in yourself.
tells me you don't understand that men and women are significantly different and we don't care about you being grounded. Okay? As a matter of fact,
Just
I would
so you wanna
argue,
hope.
men want a woman that isn't grounded. We want a grounder.
Wait, so what's
We want to be the ones to teach you guys what it is. We want to be the ones where all your frame of reference of life comes from. We don't want it to be grounded on your own because a lot of times, let's be honest, you guys ground yourselves. It's probably through mistakes, doing
That's it.
bad decisions, etc.
Look at her face. That is the face of a freeborn soul being shown the blueprints to a beautiful, comfortable, and utterly soul-crushing prison. Now listen to his words again. We want to be the ones where all your frame of reference of life comes from. This is the most honest and the most revealing confession in the entire red pill scripture, and it is the source code of its own failure. He is not seeking a queen for his kingdom. He is seeking a blank slate, an empty vessel, a subject to be programmed. He wants to be her God. But let me give you the final, terrible gnosis. A woman does not want a man to be her God. She wants a man who is so aligned with his own God, with his own mission, with his own unshakable truth, that she can finally, for the first time in her life, stop being her own. She wants to surrender the terrible, exhausting burden of creating her own reality, and to be able to relax into the safety and certainty of his. His desire to be her frame of reference is a subtle form of neediness. It is the desire of a programmer for a machine. The true sovereign has no such desire. His frame of reference is his mission. He is already complete. And it is this very completeness, this profound and beautiful indifference to whether she follows him or not, that becomes the irresistible gravitational force that pulls her into his orbit. He is a rain god who complains that it is always storming. He is the architect of his own lonely, embattled, and ultimately sterile kingdom.
The autopsy is complete. The hidden gnosis is unveiled. You have witnessed a masterclass in logical domination, a powerful but ultimately incomplete form of masculine frame. The men on this panel are not wrong. They are simply death. They are masters of the courtroom, but they are tone deaf in the temple of the feminine soul. They win the argument, but they lose the war for her reality. The ultimate truth, the gnosis that separates the clumsy soldier of the red pill from the sovereign of Seduction Noire, is this. You do not dominate a woman by shouting over her chaos. You achieve true dominion by becoming the calm, unshakable, and infinitely more compelling reality that her chaos will joyfully, willingly, and with a sigh of profound relief, choose to orbit. This is not a game of who is right. It is a game of whose world is more beautiful, more potent, and more true. To move from being the man who argues with her reality to the man who is her reality requires more than tactics. It requires a total alchemical reforging of the self. It requires a descent into the forges of the Seduction Noire cathedral. If you are ready to stop being a frustrated soldier in a war you cannot win, and to begin the sacred work of becoming the king whose very presence is the peace she has been searching for, then your path is clear. Subscribe, strike the obsidian bell of unveiling, and begin your true initiation.